What's up? It's your boy back with another retro review. Back in 1985, a lot of pop stars were like making their way to the big screen. You had Prince doing Purple Rain. Michael Jackson was making videos that were short films like Thriller. And then you had Madonna making her film debut to the big screen in Desperately Seeking Susan. Y'all like, man, why this black fool talking about this white woman? I confess, I love me some Madonna. I own all of her music. I seen her in concert. She came to Northern California back in the day to the Oracle Arena in Oakland, the former home of the world champion Golden State Warriors. Homegirl put on a fantastic show. But I went to the theater back in the day, opening night with the homies. Went to Cerritos Mall, caught the bus to go see Desperately Seeking Susan. It's a rom-com, comedy, dramedy, all that stuff all mixed together. And the premise is you have this housewife who lives in Jersey who's fascinated with the ads in the paper about people hooking up. Because back in the day, you know, that's how they did things. They put ads in the paper to meet people. And Susan was a carefree, freelance, all over the place type woman dating this dude who was in a rock band who lived in New York, but she traveled the world, met dudes, used to beat them out of their pockets, get them for the money. She was a wild chick, and she was seeing this guy for a couple of weeks, beat him out of his pockets, and somebody came and killed him, threw his ass out the hotel window. So now that dude is looking for her because she not only took money from dude, but some real fancy earrings that belong to somebody very important. And so, Rosanna Arquette is in this movie. You're like, who's that? If you're a fan of Pulp Fiction, she was the girl with the shit all in her face. When John Travolta said, hey, who's the girl with all the shit in her face? Homeboy said, that's my wife. That's who Rosa Arquette is. I mean, she's fine. Madonna stars in this movie. A lot of characters in this movie back in the day who are famous now. You got Mr. Esposito, who was now in those Mandalorian movies and video games and stuff. Great actor. He was in Do the Right Thing. John Turturro's in this movie. He's also in Do the Right Thing. A lot of Spike Lee, dudes are in this movie. There's another Italian guy, I forgot his name, also worked with Spike Lee. And then you have Madonna and the connection with Quentin Tarantino. Both of them were in a Spike Lee film, Girl 6. Big old window of opportunity for actors and actresses back then to work together, and now that are all famous working with each other. But she's getting her hair done, her nails done. She's a housewife. Her husband is a salesman. He sells hot tubs and jacuzzis. So they're well off. She don't have to work. But she's lonely in her marriage. She's not happy. She's been married like 4 years. And her husband's dipping. He got a little chick on the side. So she's not satisfied. They barely have sex. And she's fascinated. She's a hopeless romantic reading these ads in the paper, these columns about people in love and seeking people, and she's fixated on Susan, which is Madonna's character. Well, they're supposed to be hooking up in New York with that dude who's in a rock band. She's coming back from out of state somewhere. And she's like, in her mind, I'm gonna go follow them. I gotta go to New York anyway to go pick up a radio for my husband's car that's waiting for him. So she goes to New York and she goes to the pier and she's spying, trying to find out who Susan is. And she finally sees the guy hook up. He said, hey, Susan. So she's watching him, she's following him. And the dude that also follows Susan, that killed that dude she was with, is there too. And he mistakes her for Susan and throws her ass around. She hits her head on a pole, get amnesia, and she don't know who she is. And make a long story short, Susan's boyfriend has friends say, if Miss Susan's in trouble, please look after her. I got to go on the road to Buffalo for these concerts. Please look after my girl. So this dude's looking after Susan, who he thinks is Susan, but it's not. It's the lonely housewife posing as Susan, because she went to a store and followed her, and Madonna's character switched her jacket in for some fancy shoes at this pawn shop. So she went behind Madonna and bought that jacket because she was fascinated with the way she dressed. This jacket was worn by the great Jimi Hendrix, so it was kind of cool. And she's following her and gets lost, gets amnesia. So Susan's boyfriend is taking care of Rosa Arquette's character. And make a long story short, they kind of fall in love because she don't know that she has a husband and things like that. And Madonna is hell bent on trying to find who this woman is who's posing as me and taking all of my stuff. She had a key to her locker and took all her belongings and wearing her clothes. And it's a trip. Is it funny? Not really. You know, it wasn't funny then, it really wasn't funny now. It's free on YouTube with ads, but there's some iconic moments in this movie. He has Madonna, who's taking a bird bath in a public restroom, and this famous shot of her taking the hand dryer, and turning it upside down and drying her armpits and her hair. Nasty as hell, but funny. And she meets homegirl's husband at the club to get some information out of him. They're playing one of Madonna's famous songs and she's dancing to it. And you know, she's a great dancer. There's this dance scene on the floor that was captured in all the trailers and stuff like that. It's really cool. And she dresses in men's clothes, laying across the bed. She goes swimming half naked. I mean, it's just, Madonna's sexy. She was in her prime in '85. Gorgeous, beautiful eyes and a great body. But she basically played herself in this movie. She really didn't have to act. And when she did have to act a little bit, it was pretty bad, because you know how movies go. The killer's trying to kill her at the end, trying to get the earrings back and all this stuff, and Madonna couldn't act to save her life. But she looked good trying. And make a long story short, the husband's a slime ball. He never got his wife back. He gave her an ultimatum. If you're not downstairs in 5 minutes, I'm leaving you. She goes, well, goodbye. Went back to homeboy and started staying with him. They became a couple. Madonna got back with her man. And it's funny, Madonna's man always thought that his homeboy was messing with his girl because they was using the same name, Susan. He was like, man, how could you do this to me? And he's like, hey, man, you know, your girl's pretty promiscuous. It's her fault. Come to find out they wasn't talking about the same woman. So everybody's happy in the end. They found love. And it's a cute little story. Me, I love love stories, but I love unconventional love story. This is a very unconventional love story. The comedy don't quite land with me. It's a little corny, but if you're a fan of Madonna, I liked it. And Rosanna Arquette is a hell of an actress. She's easy on the eyes. And it was kind of cool to see all these other actors in this movie from back in the day that's been in all kind of different movies. Like Esposito, he was playing a dude selling hats and sunglasses on the corner. He had about 30 seconds of film time, but it was memorable. He was funny. And John Turturro was playing a host, an MC at this magic club. And boy, he told some horrible jokes. It was pretty damn bad. But yeah, Desperately Seeking Susan, a throwback, a retro joint. Give it a watch. Hey, it's free on YouTube. You don't have to spend any monies. With that, I say like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and more importantly, leave your comments down low. I'm out. Peace. You know the routine. Fade to black.